Hello, welcome to Discussing Fitchburg Now. I am your host, Sam Squailia. You're watching this on FATV in the Workers Credit Union studios. Thanks for watching. This week's show, we are talking about the importance of renters insurance. And in the second half of the show, we will be talking about holistic healing, acupuncture, massage, and those kinds of things. All right, so up right now with me, I have Leonardo Ramirez talking about the importance of renters insurance. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me, Sam. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I really wanted to talk about renters insurance after we had a recent fire. You know, if the city of Fitchburg has a lot of old multifamily housing, and you know, we have a very active fire department. And so, you know, the emergency management agency reached out to me and was like, Sam, you should talk about renters insurance. And I said, oh, we need to. So I'm so glad that you're here. You are a licensed insurance agent.
I am, yes.
Yes, so you know all about renters insurance.
Absolutely. One of the things that people don't realize they need until they actually need it. It's super inexpensive, something that everybody should know. Obviously, the average American spends $100 a month on just coffee. This basically is a third of what renters insurance would cost. Realistically, renters insurance runs usually about $100 to $180 a year, which a lot of people should know. Is one of those things where I'd like to say people should treat it as like car insurance, or something that, you know, that's going to protect them in their assets inside of their home. A lot of people, especially in Fitchburg, I would say, I read somewhere about 65% of people in Fitchburg rent.
Yes.
And then,
we have a high renting population.
That is true. A lot of people, I would say half, don't have renters insurance.
Wow.
Which is a little bit alarming.
So 32% of renters in Fitchburg don't have renters insurance.
I would say not only that, but just like you were mentioning, we have a very active fire department. So a lot of that stuff is, you know, connected right into the reason why I feel like if you rent, you need renters insurance. That's just like it's a must, I would say. But realistically, a lot of people don't have it. So what renters insurance really is, it's just, it covers things in your dwelling, such as electronics, clothing, furniture. You can sit in front of, you know, your TV in your living room and make a list of things that, you know, are in your 5 feet from you in your living room, and you can probably come up with a couple $1,000s worth of stuff, which renters insurance would cover in case of a theft, fire, vandalism, even water damage. A lot of the times, people, you know, that's just natural causes, you know, that would cover. I would say not only does it cover those things, but it covers, you know, it has a part of it where it covers personal liability. So if somebody's hurt in your dwelling or where you're renting, it would actually cover for their medical expenses and stuff like that. And it actually covers as well, not only electronics, anything of your belonging inside your home if you are outside of the home. So let's say you're on vacation, you have a camera, it's $1,000 camera. For some reason, it gets lost, it's stolen or whatever it is, your renter's insurance will actually cover that.
So that's like a home, I know homeowners insurance covers
so it's
like
very
my
similar.
Items if they were to get stolen.
Yes, so it's
you know,
very
like out of
similar.
my car, for example.
Yeah,
my homeowner's insurance might cover that.
Yes.
So renters insurance works almost like homeowners insurance?
Just like it, except it's for those people that rent either an apartment or a condo. It's more for those kind of people, yeah.
So how does someone apply for renters insurance? Say I rent an apartment in Fitchburg, and I'm watching this show and I'm like, oh, I don't have insurance. Yeah. How do I apply for renters insurance?
The easiest way I would say would be talking to your local auto insurance agent. A lot of the times you are able to bundle the renter's insurance, which actually ends up saving you money on your auto. A lot of people don't know that. You can have it, let's say you have car insurance through A&Z agency. That same agency can bundle your renter's insurance, which actually saves you money for the year. not only that, bundling would help you save getting renter's insurance apart, meaning you would pay full price for renter's insurance instead of bundling with your auto. A lot of times you end up saving significant amount, although it's super inexpensive, and everybody should have it. I think that's the best way, would be going to your agent saying, hey, what does it take for me to add renter's insurance to my apartment or my condo? That's the easiest way, I would say.
I mean, because you're talking at a minimum scale, less than $10 a month.
Correct.
To cover
Yeah.
you in the case of
Yeah.
a fire to an apartment building and
Absolutely.
you losing everything.
Yes.
Or if there were to be an ice storm and the heat goes out,
Which we had.
and the water pipes
Yeah.
burst and your apartment gets flooded.
Yes.
That's also a very real possibility.
Yes.
And you said theft and vandalism?
Yes, vandalism as well. So that's the two major things really. So it's theft, vandalism, water damage, and fire, which, like you mentioned earlier, it's a very, the market right now for just having renter's insurance, it's just a no-brainer almost, I would say. I definitely encourage everybody to have it. It's definitely one of those things where it's a must. I think it's almost like treating it like just car insurance. You must have it. If you rent, it's just, actually a lot of people, not a lot of people, a lot of places that you rent from now on, they actually require it too. So I know where I live, they require the renters to have renter's insurance.
Can we put up this infographic on the screen? This is a nice little renter's insurance infographic. There we go. Is it worth it? Provides renters financial reimbursement to cover lost or damaged items after a fire, theft, or natural disaster. And it also says it covers the house or apartment itself in case of damage. So if you, and liability, so if you rent an apartment and let's say you somehow, maybe your kid is in the bathtub and overfills and decides they're going to play in the bathtub all night and overfill it, and you flood out the apartment below you. Does renter's insurance cover this?
It does. So what happens in a situation like that, it would kick in with your renter's insurance. However, it would exceed the limit of your renter's insurance. Not always. It could possibly. And then the owner's home insurance would kick in after. That's usually how it happens. Yep.
But otherwise, you could be held liable for damages.
Absolutely. So it's always good to have it. That's one of the biggest things, water, overflow, stuff like that. You just never know. It could be something in your bathtub. It could be in your sink. You just never know.
Yep. All right. So what are the kind of loopholes? Someone was talking about renter's insurance and they said, oh yeah, well, it doesn't cover you if such and such. Is there other loopholes that it won't cover you?
There are. There's very specific things that would depend on the company that you get the renter's insurance through. Sometimes there's certain things that they list specifically that they would not cover. So it's like on a case-to-case basis. I would say most insurance companies cover the essential stuff, meaning fire, theft, vandalism, water damage. Some companies have exceptions. That would be something definitely to talk about with your local agent. Basically ask them, what is covered, what is not covered, just so you're aware of, if any situation arises, you're sure you're going to get the proper coverage and you're going to be able to handle it with your renter's insurance.
In your experiences, has there been any instances where someone thought they might be covered for something, but they were not when it comes to renter's insurance? Absolutely.
There's a lot of times. For me specifically, I always like to be very thorough with my clients so that they understand exactly what they're covered for. A lot of the times you have people who don't understand coverages, so they're just kind of like, hey, I want whatever it is, the standard stuff, but they don't know what's actually in it, what it covers, what it doesn't cover. I always like to make sure that I go over what it does and what it doesn't, because there's been situations, where people are not sure exactly. It could be a very unique situation. My dog tripped over and the hose in the bathroom broke or something like that, and they don't really understand, that if it does cover, if it doesn't. So it's always good to know what it does cover and what it doesn't at the same time.
Yep, I see on this infographic, it says if you and your belongings are lost from home, if a guest is injured while visiting your home, is that a common occurrence?
It is, actually. It's probably like top 3, I would say. So
top 3?
That's part of like the liability. Yeah. So that most insurance policies, they cover for medical expenses in case somebody gets hurt inside of your apartment or condo. Yeah, so that's always included into renter's insurance most often. You want to make sure you have that part because things happen. You never know. You have your friend's kids over and they get hurt. They need to go to the hospital. That stuff would be covered under your renter's insurance.
And you'd worry less about being sued if you had coverage just in case.
That's another part of it too. So it would cover the liability, would actually cover you against a lawsuit, which is also included in the renter's insurance. So if somebody comes after you for lost wages, whatever it is, it actually protects you from that as well.
Now, what if I buy renter's insurance? I'm renting an apartment. There's a devastating fire. Does it cover a hotel room, or what I need to stay somewhere temporarily?
Yep.
Does renter's insurance cover temporary living situation?
It does. It would be considered under what's called loss of use. So let's say you can't stay in the apartment. It does have coverage where if you need to stay at a hotel, a lot of times even in 30 days, 45 days, whatever it is. Some insurance, renters and policies, they have limits, but mostly they would cover you, let's say a hotel. Not only that, but food, stuff like that would be covered under what's called loss of use. That part of the renter's insurance, yes. So you do have, coverage for that stuff too.
What's a typical coverage? The typical coverage for a typical apartment for renter's insurance in Fitchburg, and what's the typical deductible that you would pay if in the event of a loss?
So the typical deductible, you have options for renter's insurance. $500 deductible is your standard deductible. You can bump it up to $1,000. I know some of them even have like a $250 deductible and stuff like that. So it depends, again, on the company and kind of like their policies or anything like that. But for what it's worth, a lot of the stuff you have more than $500 sitting in your living room, in your room, or in the kitchen. So you having to just come out of pocket $500 to be reimbursed for all the things that you lose or in case of a fire. I think that's a pretty good deal.
And what's the average kind of coverage that you might and what's the yearly rate for an average coverage?
So coverage-wise, usually you want to do a minimum of at least $20,000 is what I would recommend. That would include loss of use, and then it would also cover the liability part of the renter's insurance. I would say minimal. Not minimal, but the average rate for renter's insurance is about $100, $150. And we're talking yearly. We're not talking monthly. That's for the entire year. You have options with that stuff as well. You can pay monthly, or you can pay a one-time sum and just be over it, have it for the rest of the year. But it's very flexible. So I would say like about $100, $150 a year.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Leo, for chatting with us about some renter's insurance, which I think is a very important thing.
Absolutely.
If you rent a dwelling. Is there anything else that we didn't mention? Anything you want to add?
I think we covered all.
All right.
I think we covered everything.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, Sam.
All right, so we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to talk with Allison about Fitchburg Acupuncture.
I remember when.
Fitchburg was the smallest town in the area, but by 1835, it had grown to be the largest town. By 1840 and 50, most Fitchburg residents had become abolitionists. Another early industry in Fitchburg that still continues today is scythe making. Women used to have to spin yarn and weave cloth themselves, but now it was being made in factories, cutting down and exporting its wood to build cities up and down the East Coast. and of course, for making paper. Starting in the 1800s, the population becomes much more diverse. Fitchburg Machine Works expanded widely.
After World War II, Main Street was lively.
Excellent opening move. We played this
opening lines for the bishop and the
many
queen.
times. 10-year-old Alice Lee. Let's see a photo of Alice Lee.
So she plays H3,
Okay.
and we were thinking that mainly it's to make Luft, they call
Yeah,
it,
Luft.
German for air.
At the age 8, he was also able to play blindfold, but most of his exhibitions were where he had sight of the board. And he usually played between 15 and 20 players. Yes, I think taking with the queen. How did Carissa respond to Bishop C4?
She plays knight F6, attacking the pawn, Jennifer's pawn.
Welcome back to Discussing Fitchburg Now. We are talking with Allison. What's your last name?
Blaisdell.
Blaisdell. Blaisdell. I was going to say Blaisdell. So Blaisdell, like a fire.
Yes.
Blaisdell. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So Fitchburg Acupuncture.
Fitchburg Acupuncture.
This is a new business that is it open now?
We are open and ready for people.
Open and ready. And I know that you were partnering with Bliss Massage in Leominster?
Yes. So we actually have 2 locations. We are located at 21 Cully Street in Fitchburg. And I also have a second location with Bliss Massage and Wellness in Leominster on Central Street. 2 wonderful locations. So you can't miss us in the Twin Cities.
Nice. All right. I like it. I like it. A twin city business.
Cities. Yes.
So we have at Fitchburg Acupuncture. It's kind of a holistic healing focus.
Yes, we have more than just acupuncture, but too much to list in a domain name. I am a licensed acupuncturist and certified clinical hypnotherapist.
Hypnotherapist.
Yes, and my husband is also part of the practice. He's not only my model for cupping, he is also a licensed massage therapist and Reiki master and quantum touch practitioner.
Quantum touch?
Yes, so we
Is that like a next level touching?
It's a next level. So next level, you don't even have to touch the person. You can do it from across the room. I'm just kidding. It's energy work.
Is that like Reiki?
It's very much like Reiki. It's a little bit different. He's at home with our son, who's in one of the other pictures here. He would have to.
Here we go.
He'll be on another episode to tell you more about that. So truly a family business. We were in the Boston area previously, and we've just relocated. I'm home in my hometown now. And
We're glad you're back.
We're glad to be back.
So cupping, that's what, didn't Michael Phelps kind of make that famous?
Yes,
the
everybody
cupping?
knows about it now because of Michael Phelps's little purple circles that he brought to the Olympics, and I'm very grateful to him for doing that because it really helped my business.
So can you explain cupping? What is it?
I can explain cupping. So cupping is just, people hear about acupuncture and they think that that's all Chinese medicine or East Asian medicine is, but really it's only one facet of it. Traditional Chinese medicine is a complete system of medicine that includes acupuncture, cupping, herbal medicine, exercise like Tai Chi or Qigong. Cupping is a bodywork therapy. I like to explain it as sort of the opposite of massage. With massage, we're putting pressure on the tissues to relieve pain. With cupping, we're almost creating space in between the tissues. So what I'm doing in this photograph is that's a lit cotton ball, and I hold it inside the cups. It burns off the oxygen, and then we quickly go boop, on the skin, and it creates a vacuum, and it goes. Now there are other different types of cups that people use. Some of them are silicone, some of them have a little pump. I like to use the glass cups because I know that I can sanitize them very properly. With the little pumps, the silicone, they're plastic, they have different moving parts. Even before
The pandemic.
what we're going through now, I like to have things very, very clean, professional, and tight in my clinic. I worked at Mass General for a number of years, and I was the one who had to answer to the infection control nurse. So I run a tight ship.
That makes
over
me
there.
feel good.
Yeah, so I stick with the glass cups and do that. It, people's eyes get real big when I bring out the flames and everything, but it's very, very safe. Nobody gets burned and anything like that.
Acupuncture is that the needles?
Yes, so everybody hears needles and they go, "Ooh, I'm afraid of needles." Guess what? So am I. I don't like having blood drawn. I don't have any tattoos because I don't love needles. But acupuncture needles are not like hypodermic needles. They are solid, they're not hollow, they're not designed to introduce anything into the body or take anything out. So you can actually fit 10 or 12 acupuncture needles in the tip of a hypodermic needle.
Oh wow, they're very thin.
Super tiny. And of course they come in different lengths, different gauges. But some of them are so teeny tiny that if I were to hold the tip of it, the weight of the handle actually causes them to flop over. That some of them are so thin you can barely see them. They're like a human hair. So, a question I get asked pretty often is, does acupuncture hurt? No, it shouldn't hurt at all. But that being said, acupuncture is not sensation-free. People feel all sorts of different things. Some people feel nothing at all. Some people feel all sorts of different sensations, and whatever you feel is perfect for you. But I don't want anybody on the table going, "Oh boy, that really hurts. It must be working really well." No, that's not what we want, because we want people to be able to relax on the table. Relaxation is actually part of the healing response of the human body. And so it's kind of funny when I come back into the room sometimes, take the needles out, I ask people, "How do you feel?" And they go, "Well, it was relaxing anyway." Almost like they're disappointed. They don't really understand that that's actually part of it, because when we do relax, the body releases all different sorts of neurotransmitters and hormones, different chemicals in our brain and the rest of our body that come out and start to heal the different tissues in our body. So it's an important thing that our body does. Just like when we're under stress, our body releases cortisol and epinephrine, so we can go, "Okay, I'm in danger. Now I can run fast," right? So
who are the people that would most benefit from the holistic healing kind of I don't know, the package, as you kind of mentioned? It kind of all goes together. What is your target kind of audience? Who are the people that really need this service?
Good question. Well, there's a really wide variety of things that we can really treat with acupuncture and herbal medicine, hypnosis, and I'm always blown away with the different things that walk through my door every day. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years now. I would say that pre-pandemic, probably 60% of walked through my doors on a daily basis was chronic pain. So back pain, neck pain, fibromyalgia, migraines, that was sort of, most of my caseload. Since the pandemic, I've been getting a lot more of our mental health issues. So anxiety, chronic stress, insomnia, and then people wanting to work on different things with hypnosis. So, a lot of people have taken this pause, this time to work on self-improvement. I have these fears that I want to get over. I want to change these habits. I want to do things differently in my life.
Like
So
this,
looking
like
for
hypnosis for smoking, I've heard. Quitting smoking.
quitting smoking, weight loss is another big one.
For hypnosis?
Wait, hypnosis and acupuncture. I have some great programs that I'm going to be rolling out in the new year for smoking and weight loss that combine acupuncture and hypnosis. And then we'll be doing another virtual program that won't be in person, which is great because that draws people from everywhere. And that will be more around mental and emotional resiliency training, because boy, don't we all need that right now.
Because habits with weight loss, a lot of, maybe binge eating habits that you might, something triggers, right?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
You might be able to help that in a hypnotic state.
Sure. You see that everywhere right now. People who may have had one bad habit go and they replace it with another one. Okay, well, I'm not doing this anymore, but maybe I'm doing that. I've stopped buying lottery tickets every day, but now I'm buying candy bars every day. Or instead of that, maybe I'm shopping every day, or who knows.
Yep. Do you find some people are resistant to being hypnotized?
I'm in the business of mysterious and strange things, so I'm used to people hearing about what I do and thinking it's really weird, potentially dangerous. I guess there was some sort of series that came out that paints hypnosis in a really strange light.
Really?
Hypnotic or some Netflix thing, I don't know. So there are some people who are like, oh, I'm not going to let you near me and hypnotize me. No, only weak-minded people can be hypnotized. And I'll say to them, well, if you really think about it, if I had the power to just hypnotize anybody to do anything I wanted them to do, you think we'd be sitting here in Fitchburg right now on a cold December day in my office on Cully Street? Or would we be in my Caribbean office on an 18-month waiting list, and you'd be flying in on my private jet, and I'd say, and now stare at my gold watch and go rob a bank for me. I don't.
I'm glad you don't have that power, Allison.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. All hypnosis is truly self-hypnosis. You can't really hypnotize somebody to do something that they don't truly want to do. And so that's why we have an interview process for new hypnosis clients to find out, are you truly committed to change? I don't accept smoking cessation clients who are maybe sent to me from their wives.
I don't really want to be here. My wife sent me.
Right, because if you don't want to be here, I don't want you to be here either, because you're going to mess with my success rates. Because if you really love smoking, it's kind of disingenuous of me to say, well, now I'm going to take away something that you love, and you don't want to be here.
When you're ready, come back to me.
Yeah, it's a collaborative process.
A collaborative process. Yes. I like that. So it's FitchburgAcupuncture.com.
Yes.
Is how we can find out more information.
Absolutely.
And do you have a Facebook page?
Also Fitchburg Acupuncture, right on Facebook. I have Instagram, but I don't use it very much. I need a millennial to help me with that.
I get Instagram, but Snapchat is way beyond me. And TikTok, forget about it.
I just look at the videos on TikTok.
So 21 Cully Street in Fitchburg, and also at Bliss
Massage and Wellness in Leominster on Central
Bliss
Street.
Massage and Wellness on Central Street.
Yes.
All right, Allison Blaisdell. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us about Fitchburg Acupuncture.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for watching at home. I hope that you have learned a little bit about what's going on in Fitchburg. Thank you.